Good morning. My name is Logan. This is my channel, Logan Let's Go. I'm on a one-year trip where I travel around and meet really cool people and do some walk and talks or ride on a bike and interview these amazing people. My trip is 4 months in the States and then up to 8 months out of the country. That's kind of my one-year plan. I'm sure it will change a lot. Right now I'm in West Texas in the Davis Mountains at this campground here. I thought it would be nice to kind of do a bit of a summary of my road trip occasionally. So I've been on the road for about 2 weeks now, and I shoot a lot of B-roll, I guess, just when I'm not in the act of filming an individual story with somebody. I just shoot things that capture my eye. So I kind of wanted to put those together in short videos once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. Like some weeks will be a bit more eventful than others, and so maybe I'll have enough in just 4 or 5 days to make one of these videos. And then other weeks, maybe not so much, and I'll need to do, take about 2 weeks to film something like that, put it together. So anyways, this is a kind of volume 1 of a summary of what I've been up to the last 2 weeks. I started in Nashville. Well, let's see. I left my hometown, Knoxville, Tennessee, moved out completely, put a few things in storage, but got rid of most things, and went to Nashville to visit some friends. In Nashville, I didn't pull out my camera too much because I really just kind of wanted to be present with my friends there. Ended up seeing a couple concerts. We also played a lot of music. I'm a drummer, and a lot of my friends are musicians, so went to a couple different home studios, which were really cool. Played some music there. Got to see some people I hadn't seen in a while. Spend some time with my friend's amazing cat, Nefertiti. And Nashville was just great. I love visiting that city. Have a lot of good friends there. Always a good time. So then I'm in Nashville, and I get this call unexpectedly from a traveling cyclist, a bike packer, who's on this mission to ride his bicycle around the world. I met him in Florida in February on a camping trip down there. And he calls me up and he says, "Hey man, I'm in Kentucky," which was a total surprise because I thought I would find this guy out west in, California or Arizona or something. So he had rode his bike from the Florida Keys to Nevada, 5,000 miles, and then hitched a ride from Nevada to Kentucky. He calls me just as I'm in Nashville, perfect timing. He was only 3 hours away. So I shoot up past Louisville to the southern Indiana border on the Ohio River, met him at a campground and shot a story with him. His name's Andre. That video's on my channel. Check that out. From there, I decided to make my way to Austin, Texas. One of my best friends lives there. And so I spent a couple days slowly cruising across Arkansas and North Texas. And I forgot to mention the narrow escape from a tornado in Indiana at that campground where I met Andre. I'm crawling into bed in the truck, about to go to sleep, have my Kindle, nice relaxing night, and the ranger at the park rolls up and he says, "Hey man, if you hear me blasting my horn in the middle of the night, that means that we're about to get hit by a tornado, so you need to go run into the shelter. Uh, so I moved my truck right next to the bathrooms to the shelter and slept just like a baby. Had a little bit of rain. It missed us. I think it went south of us through around Louisville. I'm not even sure if it ended up becoming a tornado. It might have just been a gnarly storm. But yeah, that was like my first night camping, second night camping of this 4-month road trip. So then I make my way across Arkansas, North Texas. Because of a lot of the storming that was in that region around that time last week, a lot of the water level in some of the rivers and the lakes and ponds was really, really high. So I'd be driving and the water level would almost be up to the state highways that I was on. I camped at a state park lake just about 3 hours north of Austin, and the trees that are closest to the water line were buried with water. I mean, halfway up the trees almost. So that was pretty cool. It looked like the trees were growing out of the water there. From there, went to Austin. It was my birthday, and spent some time with my really good friend JJ, his wife Veronica. Met my friend Caroline, and got a hotel in East 6th, and filmed a video with JJ. So check that one out. He is a musician and a writer, and he's the best. And we had a lot of fun just kind of walking around East 6th, his neighborhood there, and just talking about music and creation and fun things like that. Yeah, Austin was a really great time. I decided to leave a little early. I thought about staying longer, but a storm was rolling through Austin, and I was too impatient because I have just this never-ending problem that I need to go. So I headed west to Marfa, Texas. Marfa, man, how cool is Marfa? This town seems like maybe a kind of recent cultural and arts hub. A lot of makers end up there. Small town in West Texas that was really impressive, really fun to visit. I rode my bike all over the place there. And that was a recommendation from the cyclist I told you about earlier, Andre. He said, you have to go to Marfa, man. So I decided to skip Big Bend to go to Marfa instead, because I'll be going to many parks on this trip. And while I still haven't been to Big Bend, and I would love to go, I'll make it there one day. So yeah, spent a couple days in Marfa, and man, what a magical thing that happened there. I was down the street getting a burrito at Marfa Burrito, amazing little local spot, and this dude walks in with a Grateful Dead shirt on. So, of course, I had to say hi, knowing we'd had some musical tastes in common. Ask him to sit down with me, and he's an artist in residence in Marfa, staying there for 1 month, a digital artist. His name's Mark, and I said, hey man, let's film a story. So we did the very next morning. And you know, it's funny, at that moment, right as I sat down to eat my burrito, before Mark walked in the door, I was feeling a little bit of self-doubt, you know, like I'm on this trip, I don't have a lot of stories booked out, I'm kind of just letting them happen and come to me, trusting my curiosity to, you know, kind of lead me to people. And sure enough, Mark just walks right in my life. Then this happened again later that afternoon after I rode my bike around Marfa for a few hours. I'm sitting in this lobby of this place called El Cosmico, which is kind of like an outdoor camping resort type of place. I don't really know how to describe it. I just slept in my truck in the parking lot there, but they have lots of tents and like these refurbished old trailers and tiny homes that you can stay in, and even teepees. So I'm sitting there in the lobby doing some work on my laptop, and this guy walks in. We start chatting it up, and his name's Carl, and he lived in Africa for 40 years, and he has written a couple books, and now he's traveling around the States with his dog, Mr. Bones, who is just the best. And yeah, so we kind of chopped it up and walked around and shot a video with him. So I'm working on that one now. And then the next morning, I was grabbing a blueberry scone, because I have an obsession with blueberries of all flavors and shapes and sizes and all things blueberry. And I'm sitting outside with my bike eating this before I go cruise around Marfa again. And this guy walks by and says, "Hey man, nice bike." Get to chatting with him and petting his dog, and he is another artist in Marfa, a sculptor, really nice guy. His name was Chris. So asked him if he wanted to shoot a video. Of course he said yes, let's do it. And a couple hours later, I was over there at his spot, shot a video with him, and now I am a bit north of Marfa, heading up to Guadalupe Mountains, I think, before I go to Arizona. I'm probably missing a lot of details from the last 2 weeks, but that's a pretty good summary. You can expect, continuous stories on my channel, so if you want to follow along with this 4-month in-state road trip, I will also show you my truck at some point. We'll do a kind of a walkthrough of my home here. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. I'll do a walkthrough at some point. And of course, can't forget about the bike. My favorite thing in the world. Shout out to my cousin Austin for hooking me up with this bad boy. It's been a lifesaver. I've always had road bikes, and getting a gravel bike, something with a little beefier tires for this trip, has been a game changer. So yeah, that's kind of my 2-week summary. More to come. Stay tuned. Subscribe to Logan Let's Go, because, it helps me out, man. Goodbye.